Hello and welcome to another stream. So we're going to be taking a look at some points today. They have just dropped, so yeah, pretty excited to see how much everything costs. Going to be going through the Necron points first. We'll sure we'll move on to some other stuff as well. Just okay. So, let's start off with some Necron points then. So we have... it's all in alphabetical order, it seems. So the Annihilation Barge, 115 points. I don't think that's bad for that Annihilation Barge. I think it's got like a 4-up invan. It's also got... it's got like a... reduces the -1 to wound if something's higher strength, so than your toughness. It's the advanced quantum shielding. So I think that's quite good, and actually the guns on it aren't bad either. So yeah, I think 115 points that model. It's quite nice. Then we have Anrakia the Traveller. What I might do actually is get some of these data sheets up on my phone. That way I can sort of remember who is who and what is what. So he's not Anrakia the Traveller. So Anrakia the Traveller was alright. He's nothing super special. I think for 95 points, sort of similar to what you'd expect from 9th. So the Catans have come down in points, which is much needed. I think with the 7-inch move, they're going to be quite hard to use. You might be able to use them as a bit of a counter unit. If someone comes close, you can then jump out and hit with them. But, you know, they're not doing the sort of mortals they were doing. Although they're all, I think, quite good in their own right. Yeah, I don't think they're going to be amazing. I'm not sure that I'd be running them like in a competitive list as such. Hey, Johnny! Hope you're good, mate. Cesara's is 220 points. That good. So Cesara's at 220. Cesara's is one of the best HQs in my mind in the index. So I was expecting him to be expensive. This is more expensive than I was expecting him to be, but his aura does buff, you know, all of the units or all of the battle line units that are near him, and he gets extra AP and reduces AP. So it is a strong aura. I was expecting like 160 to 180. 220 is a little bit more expensive than I was expecting. But yeah, I mean, I'm still going to try him out because he is really good. Okay. So the Catans, they come down in points, but yeah, they're alright. The Doomstalker at 125 points is not bad. I think he's a bit of a reduced gun, and he still gets a 4-up invan. You could have like 3 of them running about doing some tricksy stuff. Might not be bad. Canactic Reanimator's 95 points. I think that's actually pretty good. 95 points to get that extra reanimation. It's a 12-inch aura. You can stick. He hasn't got to be visible. You can stick him behind terrain. He's got a 4-up Feel No Pain as well. So I quite like the Reanimator. I think he's cool. And I'll definitely be running 1, maybe even 2. Canaptic Scarab Swarm, so 40 points for 3 models, so you have to take them in 3s, or 80 points for 6. That's pretty good. I mean, you can blow them up and do mortal wounds. They reduce the OC of units they're engaged with. It's not bad. The Spider is 150 points. I think the Spider is actually quite good. You can give vehicles a 6-up for no pain in an aura, which is quite nice. That's for 2 models. Oh, 1 model 75. 75 points is a steal for the Spider. I think that's great, actually. Really, really good. I think I would be taking a Spider. Old Spidery Spider. The Wraith's 110 points. The Wraiths are alright. That's for 3 models, so 110 points. What's that work out per model? Come on, someone help me with the maths. It's what? So 30 points would be 90. So what? 40 would be 120. So about 35, 37.5. I don't know, 37-ish. So yeah. It's alright, not bad. Catacomb Command Barge, 150 points. I could see some uses for the Catacomb Command Barge with auras coming off of it with some of the enhancements. Chronomancer is only 50 points, which is a good thing because the Chronomancer is not that good in my opinion. In the index, he looked like one of the less useful. Converged Dominion, 255 points. I don't know yet. I'm not sure on the Converged Dominion. It's one of those things, it can't move. Like, I think it needs to be tested out to whether it's good or not. High Priest, hello. Just going through some points. They're not looking too bad so far. So Crypto Thrall's 40 points. Same as they were in 9th. I don't think that's too bad. I mean, they're not as killy as they were in 9th. I'm not sure if you'll see them, really, because the datasheet just wasn't great. Deathmark, 65 points for 5 models. That's cheap. That's not bad at all. It's about 13 points a model. Yeah, that's nice. I think that's good. Doomscythe, 225. Not sure you see the Doomscythe too much. The Discord invite in the description doesn't work. Okay, sorry about that. I will get it sorted. I'll have to change it and make it so I think what happens is I put it in and it lasts for 7 days and then stops working, so I need to make it so it's open-ended so it doesn't stop working. Doomscythe for 225 points. Yes, I mean, I'm not sure you can see any. 185 points for a Doomsday Arc, I think, is money. I think that's good. I'm happy with that. Anything under 200 points, I think I would have been happy with. They are only T9. I think they will die a lot easier in this edition, but they're much more reliable, and they've got that AP, which is much needed in this edition. So Flayed Ones, 5 models for 70 points. So what's that? 14 points a model? God, maths is defeating me. So 50 points would be 10, and then yeah, about 14 points a model. Doomsday isn't bad. Yeah, I'm happy with that. Flayed One's 14 point a model. Yeah, 14 points a model. I mean, they can infiltrate now. I think there's some really good uses for them, and also they actually are quite killy, especially when you can put that stratagem on them. And then if you have a character with a character in range of them with the enhancement to make them count as being led, they get an extra AP as well. So they could be quite useful. Try that. Try what? Have you updated the link, John? Or put a link in somewhere? Next up, Ghost Arc, 125 points. I think the Ghost Arc's alright. Gives you a bit of extra reanimation. I was a bit upset they didn't have a fire in deck, but, you know, such is life. Hexmark Destroyer at 70 points, I think is great. For his Deep Strike, he can Overwatch on 2+. I think there's some really good uses, especially against those lower toughness armies. That enhancement is 30 points. Yeah, and I don't think that's a bad for 30 points. And I think the other enhancement, which is the Hypermaterial Ablator, which gives you -1 to hit and to cover outside 12, is also really good for 25 points. So yeah, I'm happy with that. Cesaris, like we said, 220 points. It's not... I wanted him a little bit... I was expecting like 180. 220 is quite expensive, but I think you could really build an army around him, so... the Immortals are 70 points for 5 models, so again 14 points a model. Not bad. They probably will be quite hard to kill because they're free up save with low. There's a lot of low AP. Not too unhappy with that. Okay, Imhotep the Stormlord, 105 points. Now Imhotep is, in one way, really nice because he gives you a CP every turn, which is just really good. But in another way, he doesn't buff anything. So it's a bit like, he's not really buffing anything other than the fact he's a leader and he's leading a unit. Which is a little bit sad. But, you know, is that CP, extra CP, going to be coming clutch to use for stopping stuff being battle shocked? Because I think we are going to be battle shocked a lot and we're going to struggle with that. So he's just giving you extra CP to stop stuff being battle shocked. I think that could be quite good. Nightbringer being the cheapest Catan. Oh yeah, he is the cheapest. It's because, I think because the Void Dragon's really good against vehicles, and I think they're expecting a lot of vehicles in this meta. I think that's one of the reasons. And also the Catan of the Deceiver has now got precision, so he can snipe characters. And I think that's quite strong as well. Whereas the Nightbringer is just a bit of an all-round beat stick. I think that might be why. Lockhouse Destroyers, 1 for 30. 30 points a model for the Lockhouse Destroyers. Ooh. Seems quite a lot. But, you know, I suppose it's all relative. Lockhouse Heavy Destroyers, 45 points a model. I don't think that's bad. You can take up to 3 for 135 points. 135 points for 3 of them. I can see a lot of people running 9 of them because that straight 6 damage is really, really good. And I feel like you don't just want to take 3 of these. You want to take 9 if you're taking them because it's going to cost a lot of money in for GW. But they're really good. They're really good at fire output, but they are quite glassy. I think they will die. So you want to be sticking them in some cover and then... Pow, pow, pow. Does everyone like my gun noises? Okay, Lockhouse Lord, 85 points. Yeah, okay. I didn't think he was amazing, but he can give the Lockhouse Destroyers or the Lockhouse Heavy Destroyers critical hits on 5, which I do think is really nice. Then we've got a Lord, which is 65 points, which is cool. It doesn't say how much a Resorb is. Does the Resorb just come with them? The Resorb's just part of the datasheet. I thought it was a War Gear option. Thought it was going to be extra points. In that case, a Lord for 65 points with the Resorb. Yeah, I'm all up for that. Then we've got the Lich Guard at 95 points for 5 models. Oh, what does that put them at? Nearly 20 points a model. 19 points a model. 19 points a model for Lich Guard, 2 wounds, T5, yeah, I can see it. You can get the throw-up invuln on them. There's ways to then make them better with characters and things like that. I think that's fair. The Monolith is 385 points. It's too much. I think it's too much. Although it's T14, it could be a real bugger to get rid of. That could really, like against certain armies, that could really stick around and cause you a big problem. So actually, maybe it's fine. Again, none of these things have weapon options, so they're obviously saying like whichever one you want to take. So it's either Flux Arc or Death Rays. There's no points costs for them, so I think that's fine. Necron Warriors, 12 points a model. 120 points, 240. I think that's okay because you can make them extremely durable. Not as bad as you're expecting High Priest on what? The Lich Guard or the Monolith? 120 points for Necron Warriors. I think he's great. I like it. I like it a lot. I think you could make some really durable units. There's no point in taking Necron Warriors unless you're taking characters with them, in my opinion. Unless you're just taking 10 just to stick somewhere and then, I don't know, as a unit. But then I think there's other things you would prefer to take rather than 10 Necron Warriors. Like I'd prefer to take 5 Death Marks or 5 Flayed Ones. You know, I think there's better options. Monolith, both really. Monolith, too much, especially compared to Wraith Knight. How much is the Wraith Knight, John? Because that Wraith Knight is brutal. Nemesis Zandrek, 85 points. A Night Sive is 145. Yeah, I think that's fair. Transport, Uh, 12 a model isn't bad, especially if Resorb really is free. Yeah, I agree. Yeah, you know, if you're not paying for a Resorb and you can, and so that's it would be D3 plus 3 plus D3 if you're on objective. Oh no, it's not. That means it's every turn. Yeah, so you're just getting more back. The Wraith Knight's only 370. Okay, yeah. In that case, the Monolith's way too expensive and the Wraith Knight's way too cheap. The Wraith Knight should be about 450, in my opinion. Obelisk, 325 points to the Obelisk. I mean, again, it's just like a big unit that's hard to get rid of. It's not doing anything. At least the Monolith's got some output. Yeah, I mean, I can't see many people taking an Obelisk unless it's for a laugh. Plus D3 for every Reanimator. That's it, yeah. Plus for D3 for the Reanimator, and the Resorb is to do it twice per. And so every time you reanimate, you get plus D3 for the Reanimator, yeah? If I'm not mistaken. Ophidian Destroyers, 110 points for 3 models. So that's that. 35 points. 40 points. So that's 30 something points, 35 points ish for the Ophidian Destroyers. 220 for 6. Yeah, it's not bad. 3 wound models. Yes. Okay, yeah, cool. If I read it correctly. Yeah, I think that you're right. Orokin the Diviner is 80 points. Orokin the Diviner is the one that gives you the 4 up invuln, if I'm not mistaken. Old Orokin. Yes, he's the one that gives you a 4 up invuln. For 80 points is fantastic. You can give a unit of Necron Warriors a 4 up invuln. Stick him in the middle of a board. I mean, you can't take him and a Technomancer because you'd be crossing over. So you could have one with a 4 up invuln, one with a 5 up Feel No Pain. Like, both going to be really stubborn to get rid of. And then you've got stuff like Resorbs and all of the other gear. Overlord, 85 points. I think that's fair. You can use stratagems for free. Yep, cool. Has a Resorb as well. Nice. Plasmancer's 55 points. That is really good. When he's got that critical hit thing, you can then put him with the Tesla Immortals. That's a really nice little combo. I think that's a really good. Psychomancer's 50 points. It's fine. He's not really... He does a little bit of like battle shock stuff. It might be alright, but I think the range is too small. Yeah, I don't know. I'm not a big fan. Royal Warden's only 40 points, which is really nice. I like that. And then we come back up. We have the Scorpek Destroyers for 110 points. Same as Ophidians. Yeah, I think that's fine. Not bad. I mean, it's really hard to say because obviously you've got to compare with everything else in the game. Psycho is the least of them. Yeah, because he's not doing much. Adding characters and cryptics are going to be nice. Yeah, I definitely agree. Characters and cryptics are going to make our army. Which it probably should do because we're mindless drones until we get a character telling us what to do. So yeah, the Scorpek Destroyers. The Scorpek Lord at 115, actually don't think's bad. He's got quite a lot of... you know, he's got a couple of weapon choices he can use. It's a shame they're not extra attacks, but it's not bad. He can throw out some hurt. And he's relatively durable. Okay. Technomancer, 60 points. Wow. That is a steal. For the stuff you can do with the Technomancer, I mean, I want another one straight away. I've only got one. I need another one. Because the Technomancer, I mean, obviously it could all change once the Codex comes out. But at the moment, I'd be running 2 of them in every list at least. Maybe even 3. Because I think they are fantastic. 5 up Feel No Pain. Or you can take one to look after vehicles. If it's on its own, it gets the Lone Survivor, Lone Operator. So you can't shoot it out of 12 inches. I think it's really good. yeah, for me, I think it's just a fantastic data sheet, and I'd definitely be taking it all day. Tesseract Vault for 425 points. Well overpriced. I think it should be down somewhere near the 380, if not less, 350. I mean, I'd take a Monolith over a Tesseract Vault all day, because Monoliths are just doing more. I really feel like that's... I mean, he does have an invuln, doesn't he? I think he has a 4-up invuln, so maybe that's why they've done it. The Silent King is 470 points. Well, that, for me, is way too expensive for his new data sheet. Way too expensive. He's not even really buffing anything. He doesn't give you anything. 470 points. There's no way I'd put him in the army. There's so much more. There's so much better stuff in this index than the Silent King for that sort of pointage. I mean, I'd prefer to take a Lunar Cesaris for 220 rather than the Silent King for 470 all day. Just buffs units, like, great model. Yeah, I mean, Silent King is for 470 is way too much. I mean, 350, I'd maybe then consider it, but 470, he's about 120 points overcosted in my mind. Tomb Blaze for 3 models is 80 points, so they're just under 20 points, about 18, 17 points. I think that's really good. You don't have to pay for any upgrades, so great. So you can put the upgrades you want on them, give them a 5-up invuln, give them a 3-up save, and they scout move, which is phenomenal. Yeah, I think these are great. I mean, I'll probably have 2 units of 3 in my army for 80 points. Just to jump out, do objectives, you know, it's that much needed movement in the Necron army. Necrons do struggle with movement. I know we've got Veil, but yeah, I think that would be really, really cool. And then we have, the Transcendent Ctan's 280. Oh, so the Nightbringer is even less than the Transcendent Ctan. Interesting. And then we have Trazen the Infinite, who is 75 points. I can't really remember what he'd done. Triarch Praetorians, 135 points for 5 models. It seems like, when I look at this, Lich Guard, 95 points. Fair enough, they move 5, but you can put characters with them, so they're cool. Triarch Praetorians do fly, and they move like 9 or whatever it is. Might be more than that, 10, 12. But you can't get any buffs on them. There's no real, like, awesome rule for them. I'm just not sure they're worth 135 points. I don't think I'll be touching them. Triarch Stalker at 125 points. I don't think's bad. I definitely could see me playing one in a list. It's like an extra thing someone's got to deal with. You use him as a bit of a distraction. Throw him forward. Push him up. They've got to deal with him because he's going to be either flame. I'd put the heat gun on him because you can flame and then melt stuff. You got a bit of options, and then he's got 4 attacks now in close combat. His close combat isn't terrible, and then people have got to deal with it because he's gonna do wounds, and he's a bit of a distraction. So I think he's actually really cool. For 125 points, I think it's fantastic. And then Vargard Oberyn, 85 points. I can't remember what he does, so yeah, be alright. Okay, then we have this the Hyper Material Ablator, which is 25 points, which is not bad. I think it's actually really good value for 25 points. What do you guys think? Is there anything on here at all that stands out that you think's way overcosted, way undercosted, or you just think it's good on the money? I think the Hyper Material Ablator for 25 points is great. I think the Septennial Weave for 10 points, cool. The Sovereign Coronal for 30 points, I think the Sovereign Coronal could be really strong. So if you put down a Technomancer, like the one I was saying on his own, that's not in an army, have it with some Doomsday Arcs, you can get +1 to hit on them Doomsday Arcs because they count as having a leader. So then you can hit on 2s. So that's really nice. And then Veil of Darkness for 20 points. I think, yeah, I think that's fine to pay that all day. I definitely think we're gonna. It's all about the buffing units, like the characters, buffing units and stuff like that. I don't think we're gonna have loads of units because we're gonna have to pay for the characters. So I think it's gonna be quite tough building lists. What are the thoughts and feelings in the chat? What are the thoughts and feelings on the Necrons? Not too bad. Gotta run them. Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. You've got to trial this stuff out, see what actually works, see what doesn't work. But I think there's some stuff that I think is good, like the Spider for 75 points. I think, you know, depending on how you build your list and what synergies you're going for, I think is good. I think the Technomancer for 60 points is great. Warriors are fine at 12 points a model. What were the Immortals? The Immortals were 70 points, so what is it, 14 points a model? It's not bad. Not bad at all. For a better armor save, better ballistic skill. Yeah, I mean, you could certainly stick them with a Tesla and the old Plasmancer, and you're going to get a lot of nice hits out of that. Then we who else have we got here? Orcs. Couldn't tell you much about Orcs. Ghazghkuls, 235 points. My question is, War Gear, since the cost isn't in any, is it all free? Well, I assume that War Gear is all free. There's no other cost, is there? But let's go down to the bottom and see if there's anything about War Gear down here. Space Marines. Okay, they don't look bad. Incursor Squad for 90 points. It's got a scout move. Looks good. It's less than 20 points a model. 18 points a model. Swarm, I think, is overcosted. What, the Scarab Swarms? What were they? 40 points for 3 bases? I don't think that's too bad. They were 45 points for 3 bases in the last one. Admittedly, they were better in the last one, I must admit. But they're just little suicide squads now, aren't they? Just throw them in. Or just stick them behind some... Mind you, the thing is, there's a lot of out of line of sight shooting there, seems. So if you stick them behind a thing, against certain armies, it would be good. Use them as a cheap screen. I think they're all right. I think they've got a place. Well, Space Wolves, Blood Claws, 140 points for 10 models, 14 points a model. Ooh, let me have a look at Space Marines again. What is Thunderwolves? So there'd be an Assault Squad. How much are Assault Squads? Assault Squad is 180, so they are cheaper than an Assault Squad. Or 95, so it'd be 190. Interesting. Yeah, bombers that got slower. Yeah, I mean, don't get me wrong, everything got a bit slower, didn't it? For the old Necrons. But a lot of our quick stuff got slower, which is a shame. The Tau. I haven't actually looked at the Tau at all. I have no idea what their data sheet's like, so I couldn't tell you if this is good or not. Ethereal's 50 points. I'm sure that's quite cheap. 1,000 Suns. Let's see how much Magnus is. 1,000 Suns. 2 models spawn is 65 points. Oh, you have to take him in twos, yeah? Where's Maggie? There he is. 410 points. Oof. Although I did use Scarabs as bombers with the strat most anyway. Yeah, that's what I mean. Like, I think we're getting it for free. Like, I think it's pretty cool. I like it. I think you can have loads of little units of them, and like, well, you can only have 3 data sheets, but you could have like 3 units of free and just send them out and hold stuff, and then something goes in and bang, bomb them. They are going to die though, really, really quickly. Magnus is 410 points. That is a lot of points. Demon Prince is 210. Vindicate is 200. Interesting. Old Nids. Brewdor's 100 points. Nids seem good. Nothing on there that seems like well overpointed. What's the Swarm Lord like? 250 points for Swarm Lord. It's not bad. He's pretty decent. Magnus must have done something wrong to cost that much. Yeah, I mean, that is a lot, I think. Let's see how much Angron is. Angron's 414 as well. 8-bounder 155 for 3 models. So they're over 50 points a model. And then the Exalted 8-bounder 180 points for 3 models. So that's 60 points a model. Ooh, that is expensive. 75 points for 10 Jackals. So they're 7.5 points a model. That's not too bad. Apparently you can do quite a lot with Jackals. You can give them like a 4-up invuln and a 5-up feel no pain or something. Or 6-up feel no pain. Morty is 370. T2 isn't great. Yeah, I agree. Morty is 370. 370 for Morty is too much, in my opinion. I think he's the weakest out of the 3. I don't know he's the cheapest out of the 3, but let's go up the top. But I still don't think that he's fantastic. In my mind, like, it's hard to say because you've got to obviously put it with everything else, haven't you? You know? You've got to compare it with everything else. But I mean, to me, some of the little characters seem like they're really good value for money. But then there's a lot of precision out, so maybe that, you know, they're going to get taken down. Maybe Morty will be a lot harder to kill than I think. So 370 might not be that bad. Oh, let's have a look at Custodes. It's one of my other armies. Alea's 80 points. Alara's Custodian for 2 models. Is that 190? 130. 130, so what's that? 75? No, 65 points. Eldar Avatar is 295. Yeah, you see, the Eldar Avatar is 295, and I think he's pretty strong. I was expecting Morty to be somewhere down near that. I think that's... But then, who's to say, you know? So, Custodes, Virtus Praetors, 180 points for 2 models. So it's 90 points a model. It was about what they were. They're not as good as they used to be, but I think with the reduction in damage across the board, I think it will be fine. Hopefully there will be some erratas out to sort out some of this stupid mortal round. But I know they've already done the Death Watch, but I think also maybe the Craft World need looking at with this the Miracle Dice and the Devastating Wounds. So hopefully that will get sorted, and then things are going to be a lot harder to kill. So these tougher units should probably be more points. But yeah, the Avatar I think at 295 is good. What else have we got here? Blade Champion's 100 points. I think that's pretty good. Custodian Guard for 4 models. Oh, you can take Custodian Guard in 10s for 450 points. So they're 45 points a model. Okay. That's not bad. I think that's alright. Anyone in the chat know what Terminators are? What's a normal Terminator? Because Terminators are so good. The Wardens are 150, so they're 50 points a model, the Wardens. They are slightly better, so yeah. A Knight Centura is 75 points. Prosecutors are 40 points, so 10 points a model. Yeah, that's fine. Shield Captain's 120 points, which I think is good. He's got a really good ability. Anyone on the Terminator? As in the Space Marine Terminator? Cheers, George. 41 for a Terminator. 41 points for a Terminator. 45 for Custodian Guard. Yeah, I think that's fine. 41 points for a Terminator. I mean, they are going to be so hard to kill. Shield Captain and Lara's Terminator, 120 points. So they're both 120 points. The Shield Captain and the Shield Captain and Lara's Terminator. That's interesting. Although his ability is way better. Shield Captain on Dawn Eagle Jet Bike, 145 points. I'd be happy to pay that. Trajan Valoris, 145 points. Yeah, I think that's fine. Valerian's 115. Cool. Contemptor Dread's 185. Contemptor, he does get back up on a 2+. I think that's alright. You're getting 2 lives with him basically. He's not on 4 wounds, I don't think, but still, I think he's on 6 wounds or something, or half wounds. The land rate is 260. 260. I mean, I think that's alright considering the monolith's 385. I think that Venerable Land Raider at 260, I think is fine. Then we have the Vigilators with Seekers, and then we have some of the things which are all about right. I think these upgrades. Hello Dan, how are ya? We got the AdMech. I'm not going to spend too long looking at the AdMech. How much is Belisarius? Cool. The chickens are only 50 points a model. The robots are 250. Whoa, the robots are expensive. For 2 models, it's 215 points. Whoo! That is quite a bit. They must be really good. I haven't really looked at them. Cataphrone Breach is 50 points a model. Where's Cool? Why can't I see? Oh, there he is. 185 points. I'm not sure if that's good or not. I haven't actually looked at his data sheet too much. Yeah, I think nothing here looks too pricey, really, apart from them robots, but I'm just imagining they're good. The Scorpius Disintegrator is the tank, isn't it? And the Dune Crawler is the Walker. And the Dune Rider. Yeah, I think they all look alright. I don't know what the Disintegrator's gun profile is, but again, all of these enhancements all are around the same price, so okay, Aeldari. We know what some of these boys do. How much is the D cannon then? D cannons. What are they called? What are they actually called? Support weapons, aren't they? 85 points for a support weapon for one of them. That's pretty cheap for what they can do. They do only move 3, admittedly, but and then we have that Wraith Knight at 370. Which is so cheap. Like, 370 compared to 385 for a Monolith. I mean, I know the Monolith's got a cool rule where you can teleport stuff to him and he can deep strike. But he only moves 7. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know about that. I don't know. I think it's probably too cheap for that Wraith Lord. That Wraith Knight, rather. I think he might need an FAQ. So he doesn't get the Fate Dice. If he doesn't get the Fate Dice, then I'm okay with it. Warp Spiders for 5 models, 100 points. So what, 20 points a model? Yeah, that's quite good. They've got a good ability. Where are all like the Harlequins and stuff? Okay, Solitaire's 115 points. How much is the Death Jester? Death Jester, 70 points. There you go, Dan. What a steal. Got my 3 support weapons to build. John, mate, they're going to be... Even if they take the Fate Dice away from support weapons, at 85 points, they're still going to be really good. Wonderdog says these points are a right mess. In which way? You don't think they're fair? Wolfen, 100 for 5. So 20 points of Wolfen. Yeah, you're probably not taking them at 20 points. I shouldn't imagine, unless they do something. The lack of granularity for weapons especially. Okay, so you just think that it's not... Hey, Drew, how you doing? So Wonderdog, you just think that it's not... They're not right. Like, for instance, the 370 for the Wraith Knight and the 385 for the Monolith, you think it's just wrong. Bjorn is 220 points. Yeah, that's way too much. Way too much for Bjorn. Bjorn should be like a 180 max. So we've got Ivrain. What's that other guy? The twat that teleports about the Incarn. 270. Okay. You mean he's pretty good, but 270. Sea Tombblades. Tombblades are alright, weren't they? I think they were pretty good. considering all the upgrades are free on Tomb Blades? Or are you saying that they're too cheap? Yeah, I agree. It's too cheap for the Wraith Knight. How much is the Vindicare? Hope he's fucking expensive. 80 points for the Vindicare Assassin. He's going to be in every single list. He's going to be in every Imperium list. Oh yeah, I've got a Vindicare Assassin. Oh yeah, I've got a Vindicare Assassin. Drazar 105. Drazar 105 might be alright. Wait till you see what 5 Drukhari Scourge and 4 times Dark Lances comes in at example. I know you already covered the Dominion. The points are way too high. I had hoped to run them as a cover generator for the Reanimators, but nearly the same cost. Yeah, I think that the Convergence Dominion is too expensive. But I can't see any points for upgrades. We haven't got to pay for them, have we? So you're saying that the Tomb Blades are too cheap because of the upgrades? George says, LOL, auto include. Yeah, Vindicare's 100% auto include. For 80 points, you're just taking him all day. So why give the option on the datasheet? Because I suppose what they're saying is that... Wonderdog, I suppose what they're saying is that this upgrade is equal to this upgrade. So your upgrade is already complete, in the points. It's just which upgrade do you want. So you can take 2 upgrades for free, and then one of them you can swap out on the Tomb Blades. Nothing's been seen yet for upgrades, maybe in Index. I think the upgrades are just part of the points. I just think you can just choose whatever you want to take because they are saying, yes, too cheap because of free upgrades. Okay, yeah. Yeah, I mean, I'm definitely not saying that they shouldn't. They're not too cheap. They probably are. Astraminatarum. What we got? Bane Blade for 540. Yeah, okay. How much is the Shadow Sword? Shadow Sword is 440. It's got a big gun. In general, units with optional upgrades or variable weapon loads outs are horribly unbalanced. So you think like... So I remember when like... You know, they had points and power. And you could play power. And it was like, if you played power, it was just so unbalanced because of upgrades. And I think that's what you mean. In general, 5 Scourge, 120 with Heat Lances. 120 with Heat Lances. So what does that make them? 24 points a model, something like that. That's not bad. Especially you can chuck him in, shoot, jump behind a wall. I like it. Kachan Jungle Fighters, 65 points. How much is a Lehman? A Lumen Russ. Lehman Russ is 180, 95, 200, depending on what you're taking. Not bad. I think they're going to be quite hard to kill, so... yeah, exactly. Okay, yeah. So, what I was saying with the power. With a token, probably drop 20 wounds. Nice. 120 with 4 Dark Lances. Yeah, we were talking about the Dark Lances and the Heat Lances. We're thinking maybe the Heat Lances are better because of the strength 14. And then you get Melter plus 3. So the Heat Lances are pretty tasty for the Drukhari. Black Templars. How much is Hellwrecked? 105 points for High Marshal Hellwrecked is pretty good. That's nice. Really nice. Empress Champion for 85 points. Yeah, they seem pretty good. What we got? Blood Angels. Can't see anything. Sanguinors, 160 points. That seems expensive. Tycho 75. Death Company Dreads 195. And minus 4 AP. Yeah. Wonderdog says, yeah, they're both spicy. Yeah. Yeah. Sanguine Guard are 215 points for 5 models. What's that? 25, about 26, 27 points a model. 28 points a model, something like that. 28 points a model. That's pretty good. Uh, 28 points a model for Sanguinary Guard. I think that's actually really good because they're like strength 5 -2, 2 damage. They've got 2 up save. I think that's quite reasonable. Rear jet bike 75 points for free, which makes it what, 25 points a model, and you get the heat lance for free with that, Dan. You get 1 heat lance you can put on them, yeah. Okay, demons. Okay. I also played demons. Beasts of Nurgle, 75 points for 1 model. Seems, I don't know, they are going to be a git to get rid of. It's probably alright. Be'lakor is 325. Oof. When you look at Magnus, how much expensive Magnus is, Be'lakor's a steal. Which is 11 points a model, what a joke. Yeah, but I still think there's things you can do with them, Dan. Like, they can be annoying. 11 points isn't terrible. Blood Crusher's 120. Bloodletter's 160 for 10, so 16 points a model. Not bad, although I think they do die quite quick. Contorted Epitome 85. I don't think that's not too bad. Demonette's 140, 14 points a model. Don't think that's bad. It's quite good actually. Fiends 50 points a model. Ooh, that might be a bit too much. I was expecting around 40. 50 points seems like it's quite a lot. You can't put any characters with them. You can't really get buffs, so Cavalites aren't horrendous with the 3 weapons. Yeah, that's the thing as well, and you've got to think about the weapons and what you can take, how much, because this is basically what they've done for Space Marines in Arcs of Omen. They just went free war gear, and now they've just done it for everyone. It seems. I'm sure they've tried to include some of that in the points though. Great Unclean one is 280. That doesn't seem bad. Keeper of Secrets 330. Oh, that's expensive. I don't know. It's probably have to use him. Lord of Change is only 230. The Keeper of Secrets is 100 points more than a Lord of Change. Rotigus is 285. Old Rotty. 3 models, 30 points of Screamer. That's not bad. They're pretty tasty. Ravager is 95 points. That's really good, Dan. Really good. 3 of them all day. Seeker Chariot. 75. How much is the Hellflower? Hellflower is 110 points for a Hellflower Chariot. That's good. Shalaxi Hellbane is 400 points. I mean, she is really good. But 400 points is a lot. Wow. Scarbrand's 365. That's better. Oof. Oof. Celestia 140 points. Yeah, it seems alright. Yeah, they seem alright. Triple Dark Lance platform. Yeah, definitely. Or if you want to kill, you know, Marines and stuff, they've got the old disintegrators as well. Yeah, I think a Ravager at 95 points are really, really tasty. You just don't care if they die for 95 points. What we got? Chaos Knights. They're all around sort of the 400 point mark. The big guys 485. Night Rampage is 395. The War Dogs are all around 100 and sort of 50. You can get 135, 135. Not bad. Talos ain't cheap, apparently. Abandon the Spoiler is 280 points, which I think is really good for the amount of buffs he can give out. Like, he can re-roll hit for everything is really tasty. So I think that's absolutely fine. He would have to be worried about getting sniped, but yeah, I think that's good. Mauler Fiend for 155. Forge Fiend for 165, I think good. Apparently, Oliver Piggott tells me they're really, really good now. So, yeah, sacrificial at that cost. Definitely one dog. The Obliterators are 80 points a model. Is that too expensive? Probably. Might be alright. They've got some indirect fire and stuff, haven't they? The Vindicator's 210. Lucius the Eternal for 95. Hellbrute's 155. Defiler's 210. I think I looked at the profile for this. I wasn't overly excited about it. 90 points for Talos don't seem too bad, considering you're getting free weapons on it. Venom Crawler for 140. Seems alright. Yeah. Chaos Space Marines seem alright. I think they're alright. Master of Possession for 70 points. Maybe a bit high for a Blitz. Yeah, I mean, they've got the outliner sight shooting. The new toughness and that. You just don't know how hard it's going to be to kill stuff. I think it is going to be quite hard to kill stuff, so it might actually not be that bad. Because all this low AP, I think we don't realise how hard it is actually going to be to murder stuff. Dark Angels, how much is the Lion? He better be over 400 points. Where is he? Lionel, 380. There's no way he's 380. He's so good. He's only 10 points more expensive than Mort, and Mort's nowhere near as good as him. Interesting. But still 380. Yeah, I said around 400 points. This Mort should be cheaper, I think. 50 points Kronos, one of his good. Yeah, one Kronos I think for them pain tokens is alright. Ravenwing Talonmaster, 115. Belial's 100. How much are the Deathwing Knights? 235 for 5 models. Someone help me with maths. 235, so 5... 50 points a model will be 250. So they're under 50 points a model. They're about 45-ish points a model. Seems pretty good. Death Guard should be cheaper. Oh, Death Guard too cheap. Too expensive, sorry. So a Bloodclaw is 14 points and a Witch is 11. Yeah. And an Assault Marine is more than that though. Assault Marine's 95 for 5, so do the maths. Or is that 95 for 5 is like 19 points a model or whatever. Mind you, if you can take fund hammers on them, then and if the points are included and there's free war gear, that's actually really cheap because Bloodclaws can't take fund hammers. So, okay, I haven't looked, but knowing them, Death Guard, Biology Purifier 60 points doesn't seem bad. 5 Terminator models. The Blight Lord Terminator is 175 points, so that is 30 at 5 would be 90, 120, 150. So they're about 35 to 40 points a model. It's not bad. I think that's pretty good. Death Guard Demon Prince with Wings is 215. Death Guard Hellbrute's 155. Lander is 250. Let's have a look at some of the more Death Guard. Death Shroud 140 points for free. So what's that? 40, a lot, over 40. 19 points, yeah, a model. But I think they can take the Assault Squads can all take Thunderhammers though, can't they? I don't know. Or is that just Death Company? Bloat Drone for 135 is pretty good. I don't know. Death Guard don't seem too expensive. Mortarion at 370 I think is a bit too expensive. I would have preferred to see him down at the 300 mark. Because I just don't think he's doing as much as he used to. He's not really buffing that much. He's just, yeah, I don't know. His damage output isn't amazing. He's only got a damage 1 sweep. I know he's quite hard to kill, but I think he should have been a bit cheaper. Blight Lords are just too slow. Yeah, 100% Wonder Dog. Blight Lords are just too slow. I don't know why they put it back to 4 inches. I don't think anything should be 4-inch move in this game because it's just too slow. Plague Marines at 100 points for 5, so 20 points a model. Might be alright. Free war gear. I haven't actually seen their data sheet. Poxwalkers, 60 points for 10, so there's 6 points a model. I haven't seen the Poxwalkers data sheet, but 6 points for a wound is alright. I'm just imagine they've got a 6 up feel no pain or something. So, yeah, probably alright. High Priest Stretch, read on page, yeah, war gear and weapons, all free, so you don't have to manage bits and bobs on all models and make it easier to take what you love. Okay. 4 in is so bad. 4 in is so bad. Oh, 4-inch move. Yeah, it's so bad. Yeah, I agree. It's terrible. Just Death Company. How much is Death Company, Dan? I didn't even look to see how much Death Company were. So yeah, really nice with the Plague Burst Crawlers. 175. 175 is the Plague Burst Crawler. Could have been maybe a little bit cheaper, but I don't think that's too bad. Again, we've got to see how easy it is to kill the buggers. And then their upgrades are all around the same point price as all the others. Mythic Bite Haulers are 115 points a model. Haven't seen their data sheet, but that's not bad. 104 for a vehicle. 115 points. Death Watch. Corvus Backstars 180. George will know all about these. Watchmaster's 115. Not bad, guys. Not bad. 5 models, 20 points for Death Watch veterans, and you can take hammers on them. And you can take jump packs, I'm gathering. And the hammers are strength 10 for 100 for 20 points a model. That's pretty good. That's fine in principle, but totally busted for balance. Yeah, obviously, when you're just saying, yeah, you don't worry about it, you can just take whatever you want, the balance gets thrown out a bit. Units of 10 veterans, 6 power weapons and storm shields, and 4 Deathwatch hammers for 200 points. Yeah. That's pretty... So can you only take 4 per 10 of the hammers? But that's really nice. For 200 points, that's, I would say, a little bit overpowered. But yeah, really good. I Age Wonder... Fine to simply, but why wouldn't you take free upgrades? Exactly, you're going to take the free upgrades. 26 points, but they have jump packs too. Oh, yeah. And how much would you think a jump pack's worth? It's got to be worth at least 5 points in it. So they're basically getting their Assault Marines that can take whatever they want, and they've got jump packs. I think you might be right here, Wonder Dog. I think the balance is out because they're just saying take what you want. Oh, look, I could not take a 4-up invuln on this bike. Yeah, exactly. You're going to take it if you can. 5 models. I don't really know the kill teams and the Proteus kill teams and what they consist of. So I'm just going to assume that they're actually pretty well priced because the veterans are really well priced. I think for 20 points a model is insanely good for what they're doing. And like you're saying, these have got loads of weapon options, all these boys in the Death Watch, and it's all free to take whatever you want. So you're always going to take the best option, which is then going to throw the points out. Because if you take a worse option, it's not worth the points. Okay, Drukari. Lilith 105, I think that's quite good. Archon's 85, that's nice. Beastmaster 120. it does include 7 models in that. So the Beastmaster is now, you haven't got beasts on their own, you've just got a Beastmaster with, and you can take some of the models. I'm not sure how I feel about it, but it's a bit like a Court of the Archon. So Court of the Archon's 95 with 4 models. We don't know if this is going to change once the Codex comes out. The Kronos, for 1, is 50 points. I think that's quite good. Jump pack was 3 points in 9th. Okay. So they're then paying 3 points for a Thunderhammer each. It's pretty cheap. We're talking about Dev Company there. 105 points for Drazar, which I don't think is bad. He's given +1 to wound to the Incubi. I think it's money. Grotesque, 105 points for free. So how much is that? That's, what, 35? 35 points a model. I think that's alright for the Grotesques. I think they're going to be quite hard to shift. Homunculus 75, yep, good. Hellions 110. So what's that, 12 points a model? 12 points a model. 12 points. So they're 12 points and witches are 11 points. That doesn't really match up, does it? Either they've got to be more expensive or the witches have got to be cheaper, surely, because they're way better than witches. Yeah, Wonder Dog. You will always take the best option, of course. So it's just stupid that it's not. That's the whole point of different options and having different points values. So you're like, oh, okay, I might want to not make this unit as expensive, so I'll take the worst option, but it's less points. Whereas you're always just going to take the best option. And the thing is, this wouldn't be so much of a problem, guys, if GW were going to get the codexes all out within a year. But we know that's not what's going to happen. So some people are going to be left with this for a long time. And it's alright if you're doing well out of those things, but if you're not, then it's a problem. 22, that's for 5. Grotesques ain't great. I think they're alright. They're pretty tough. 6 up. It was a 5 up, feel no pain. It's always good. What's for 5? Did you say? Sorry. 110 for 5. Yeah. Oh yeah, shit. You're right. I'm a dickhead. So it's 22 points a model. Apologies. Well done, Wonder Dog, for pointing out that I can't do maths. So they're double the price for a witch. Okay, that makes more sense. Incubi, 85 points for 5. That seems pretty good. Yeah. 85 points for 5 is someone... Oh, so it's 17 points a model. I just need to go to the 10. Take the 0 off. 17 points a model. It turns out I need to go back to school, guys. 17 points a model for 10. I think 17 points a model for Incubi is good. I mean, there are only strength 4 now instead of strength 5. But you can get the +1 to wound from Drazar. I just think they're not quite as good as they were when they were... You know, now unit on their own, it's not going to be quite as good. Well, obviously not quite as good. But I still think at strength 4, AP and damage isn't bad. I think you're still going to cut some stuff up. So I still think they're worth taking without Drazar. But with Drazar, they're way better. They're still going to kill some Marines and whatnot. Cavalite Warriors 10 models, 120 points. So 12 points a model with the free upgrades. Yeah, I think that's quite nice. Incubi ain't bad. Yeah, I think Incubi are alright at that price. Mandrake, 70 points for 5. So 14 points a model. I think that's really good for Mandrakes. You can infiltrate them. Yeah, they're really and you can take them off the board and then bring them back and do other stuff. And I think once you see the secondary missions, guys, there's a lot of ones that you need to move about and stuff like that. So units like Mandrakes and fast moving units are going to be key. Raider is 90 points. I think that's not bad for a Raider. Ravager at 95 is great. I mean, the Raiders are so good just because it's just getting out of the radar, the movement, getting out and then being able to get out 3, move, then charge. It just makes everything a lot better and a lot easier to then get into combat. Hope these can hold while we wait for the codexes. This is the thing, isn't it? It's like, if the codex creep gets a bit too quick and insane, the people left with on the index are going to be crying. I'm glad I get mine in the winter, so not too long to wait. But yeah, I agree. Scourge is 120 points for 5, so 20 points a model for whichever weapon you want to take. I think's money. Succubus at 70 points. I think that's fine. Talos at 90 points. I do think that's fine. I do think you're going to have to put a fair amount of firepower into that Talos to get rid of it with a 5-up Feel No Pain. They're again, you know, they're going to have probably Haywire or Heat Lances or whatever on them. And they're things like a Triarch Stalker. You've got to deal with them or they are going to do damage to you. And if you're having to deal with them Talos that are being thrown down your throat, you're not dealing with the Mandrakes. You're not dealing with the Ravagers. You're not dealing with the Raiders with Incubi in and Drazar in and other characters. Venom at 80 points is good, I think. Void Raven Bomber, 195, I actually think would be okay if it was the old rules for aircraft, but in the current thing, I think it's too expensive because the Void Raven's actually got a really cool data sheet. It's just a shame. Maybe they can be used, but I don't think so. Rax at 13 points a model. I think it's fine. My lights have run out. I think that's fine. It's not bad. And then we have witches at 11 points a model. I think it's probably a little bit too expensive. Just because they're strength 3. If they were strength 4, I'd say yeah, that's fine. I think at strength 3 they need to be maybe 8 or 9 points a model, because they're just not going to be doing much to anyone in this. I know you can get rerolls to hit, but what about it's the wounding that they're really going to struggle. Unless there's anything they can get to help them wound, I think it's really going to be bad times for them. Gene Stealer Colts. Aberrance, 165 points a model, so 33 points a model. It's not bad. My buddy's now trying to figure out how many las cannons he can fit in a battle. I'm glad I get my... not feeling any of the flyers. No, I agree, Wonder Dog, because of the rules, but actually the Void Raven Bomber's actually got a good data sheet. It's just the rules for flyers aren't good. Because of the pivot at the end after you turn is so bad. I think if they just kept it at pivot at the beginning of your movement, it would have been absolutely fine. Just don't let anyone double pivot and it would have been fine. Witches need poison melee weapons in my opinion. Yeah, I agree, Wonder Dog. If they had poison weapons, I'd be like, right, no, they're definitely worth their money. But at strength 3 with no poison, what are you doing? You know? 85 points for a Patriarch. Looks good. Sanctus is 50 points. Is that the sniper guy? Or is that the Locust? That's only 40 points for the Locust. I think the Sanctus is the sniper guy at 50 points. That's really nice. What about the Atalan Jackals? 80 points for 5, so 16 points a model. That's right. Where's the bird with that can kill stuff that's on a bike? What's her name? Jackal Alpha. 60 points for another sniper. Yeah, I like them. I think they're cheap enough. They can do some damage. Metamorphs at 16 points a model. Yeah, nice. How much is the Gene Stealers? Pure Strain Gene Stealers at 18 points a model. Yeah. I think they're going to do some work. Not bad at all. Oh, the Grey Knights. Look how much their Dread Knights are that can teleport, advance and charge, do everything. They better be expensive. 155. Oh, that's a Venerable Dread. Where's the Dreads? Dread. Hang on. Grandmaster Nemesis Dread Strikes 245 points. Okay, that's quite expensive. Grandmaster Vial is 115. Land Raid is 270. Yeah, it's fine. Why can't I see the Dread Knight? Why am I going blind? Oh, Nemesis Dread Knight, bottom. 215 points. Okay, yeah, I think that's good for all of the stuff that the Nemesis Dread Knight can do. I don't think that's bad at all. Like I say, he can like teleport and move through stuff. He can advance and charge. He's got guns. He's got combat. Yeah, I think he's pretty good. Don't think he is bad at all at 215 points. So where's like the Strike Squad? Strike Squad's 27 points a model, which I think is absolutely fine because they've got a 2-up save. All of this stuff's got a 2-up save, so they need to be more expensive than your normal Marine, because having a 2-up save in this edition with the lack of AP is super strong. So I think they've got this right. And obviously we know what weapons they're already getting, because in terms of combat and shooting, because it's already sort of predetermined. So yeah, I think this is fine. Looks like it's what it should be. Razorback at 95 points is alright, considering you can put some nice weapons on it. Rhino is 80 points, so you're paying 15 points for a weapon, basically. Yeah, I think they're alright. Imperial Knights, they're all going to be around the same price. The Gallant, where's the Valiant? Valiant's 490. Where's the Castellan's 495? Yeah, 500 points. I think they've even come down a bit. In fact, I think they could be brutal with a Valiant, with them harpoons and the flamers and stuff. And especially when you can Overwatch twice, I think the Valiant's going to be absolutely amazing. And it's going to be really hard to kill. And I 100% know Lewis is going to take 2 of them, and it's going to be brutal. I think they might even be a little bit cheap at 490. I was expecting like a 550, 600. Okay, Leagues of Votan. Let's have a look. Scythonian Berserk. So 27 points a model. I think it's too expensive for what they're doing. The Thunderkin, 19 points a model, I think is fine. Because I think there's some really good options on them. With the Graviton is really good. Brocky Ironmaster at 75 is fine. Grimney at 75. Who for the Destiny's 115. The Carl's 90. Yeah, they're all like sort of just under 100 points. It's fine. Halfkin Warriors at 13.5 points a model. Probably too expensive. I don't know actually. They're T5. Land Fortress is 245 points. That could be alright. I sort of got to try it out. Pioneers at 105. So 21 points a model. No, they're not 21 points a model. What am I talking about? 32-ish points a model. No idea about Votan. Yeah, I mean, the Votan aren't very good, to be honest, in this edition. In the index data sheets, they're going to struggle. I think they're really going to struggle. How much is the Sagittaire? Sagittaire is 120 points. That's not bad. They can scout move. Yeah, I think that's all right. It's not bad. I think they are going to struggle, but we'll see. We'll see. I've got to try them out. Give them a go. And then we're back to Necrons. We have gone through all of the points, guys. I think it's very interesting. I think the points are cool. Oh, actually, what I did want to look at. Let's have a look at the rules summary or commentary. We'll just wait half hour for it to load up. God, it's really hot. You joking? How can I read that? Is this actually meant to be readable? Okay, I'll have a look on it. So, yeah, I think Necrons haven't come out too badly with the points. I think they're actually looking alright. Okay, so rules commentary. Oh, hang on. There's 18 pages of rules commentary. I'm not going to look for it all right now. So, have a look at the rules commentary though, guys. There might be some things in there that's going to change the way we play. But thank you very much. Please subscribe. It really helps me if you guys subscribe and like the videos and stuff like that. And hopefully I can keep making content and bringing you better content as time goes on. I hope you enjoyed the stream, and I will speak to you all soon. Bye.